What's up, techies? Welcome back to the Harris Tech Pivot. Today, we're going to be talking about the company that I've been raving about on LinkedIn, which is Glencoco. So let's just get right into it. Start making some money as a SDR before you even have an SDR job, okay? We're getting right into it. Glencoco is the site that I've been telling all my friends about. Get on the phone and get hired, get paid right away. It's kind of like a freelance SDR site, if you will. But anytime, anywhere on your own terms, you can start your calling block whenever you have free time to do so. A lot of the successful people they have written have at least done 2 to 3 hours a day. But if you're in that job hunt, you can definitely do more than that and be getting paid while getting experience as you're job hunting for that dream SDR, BDR job that you want to do. But like I said, your hours, more commission, of course, with more hours because there's a lot of hangups involved, there's a lot of voicemails involved. So you definitely want to get your hours in for your calls so that have you can have the opportunity to be able to actually get to pitch to your buyer personas. But like I said, call on your schedule. Now, the commission comes from when you get a booked meeting, and then when the booked meeting is turned over to the turned over to the account executive, and the account executive determines that it's a sales qualified lead (SQL), then you get your pay for that particular meeting booked. And from the people who I know who have already booked, I have booked one already, but they haven't had their meeting yet with the AE, so I'm not sure if it's a sales qualified lead yet. But the people who have said the turnaround is fairly quick. Um, One of my friends said it was 2 to 3 day turnaround, so pretty good to start earning money and get your cold call experience in and have relevant SDR, BDR experience as you go into these job interviews to land that full time job. Now the training. Each company on the Glencoco is called campaign. Each campaign or company has their own onboarding system, and you will be able to, know what the buyer persona is, know what the competitors are, know what their specific cold calling script is, what their specific objections are and the answers to those objections. And there's little quizzes along the way in the onboarding system fairly quickly, about 30-minute onboarding process. And then the final quiz is they capture you doing a mock cold call with the script that they've given you, and then also recording your answers to your objections. So they say don't read it verbatim, but if you have a little acting experience or a little oomph, you can just read it, or you can paraphrase and put it in your own words. And then once you're approved, you can start calling right away in the system. So you can start calling. These are examples of different companies, and you can say, oh, SaaS Identity Cybersecurity. Oh, that's 300 a meeting. Or that's 800 a meeting. I'm definitely gonna, onboard with that company. So you can do 3, 4, 5 companies and kind of, maybe do a different company a day to give yourself some variety. And this one company, an insurance company, 1,200 for a booked meeting. So, the earning potential, considering it's not a full-time job, it's on your own time, is pretty amazing. So, a little bit about the dialer system. So your smart dialer cockpit and copilot. This is kind of what it looks like when you go into the site and you hit start calling on a specific campaign. So the the lead will pop up. A lot of them will have their LinkedIn. So for those of you who like to do research and see if there's any commonalities, if you went to the same school, anything like that, maybe a post that they just posted recently, maybe they just got a raise or something that you can put into your call. Feel free to do that. Some of them also have links to the company's website if you wanted to take a look at the company. Um, that's also an option. And then it has, the number of employees and the email address, which will help you if you get a booked meeting. on this side right here, this is where other people have called. This is where other people have left their feedback on it, if they are, still in the process of trying to speak to the person, or it was a, no pickup, but you ended up not leaving a voicemail or something like that. And then you could put your notes in this section here, down here. Over here is your sales script that tells you everything that you can just read verbatim with some energy. It tells you your persona, the people who you want to speak to in case the persona is not the one who's answering it. Your objections will be here also, as well as the answers to the common objections. So it's really setting you up for success. And then your qualifying questions that you want to ask if you get to the book meeting section. And you just want to ask these couple of ones before you actually finish booking, because you want to make sure you want to excuse me, you want to really make it's late here. You want to really make sure that your booked meeting is going to be a qualified lead. So you want to get those qualified questions in before you actually book it. Then when you book a meeting, you check off all these boxes to show that that they were indeed a qualified lead. And then a calendar link will pop up of the account executive's availability. You'll click on that and make sure it's the right time zone, and then it will populate for that. And then you finish the call, and then these loads of questions will pick up, like, oh, was a bad call or no pickup. And then when you do that, oh, they didn't pick up and I did leave a voicemail. They did pick up and I didn't leave a voicemail. And then you hit submit. And then that's kind of the end of that. So if I went to, this is kind of my thing. So I have my pipeline, I have my history, and the history does record all your calls. So your booked meetings or whatever, it has like your calls recorded there. The marketplace, discover. So they have it by industry. They have new ones that are on site. The least crowded. So they really break it down for you to see which ones you want to, onboard and start calling for. Hold rates, which one has lots of leads to go through. So maybe, they're not getting hit up by 4 or 5 different SDRs. Which ones are hot right now, popular on the site. And, oh, they even have one that's hiring full time. So that's interesting. So this is like a kind of real life application or interview, right? Because you're like, well, I've already been working for you and they're hiring full time. So that's cool too. Then they have a bonus board. They have lots of different incentives going on. There's the one for December has already started, and it lets you know what that entails. And then there's a leadership board, and you can get on the leadership board. Like, this person had 8 total calls and got 1 qualified meeting. That's pretty darn good. Three calls and 1 qualified meeting. And it doesn't say what campaign that's on, but you can kind of start asking around. Maybe I'd go to Bill and say, or this one, three calls and 1 qualified meeting. I might click on that person and say, hey, what campaigns are you working on and how have you liked them, right? Then you have your notifications. This is where, like Otis, I just did that onboarding and said I've been approved. So now when I hit start calling, these are the ones I've been approved for that I did onboarding, and I can just click on any one of them. And this is what I showed you earlier. So the Otis script is over here, the personas, the objections, and this one only has 1 qualifying question. I don't think it'll let me start a session because it's kind of late at night, but yeah. But that's where I showed you before where that would go. And then you exit, and then everything will end up in your pipeline and your history of the calls you made and everything. And then let me just show you what the profile looks like. So this would be your profile. So I just started with Glencoco. So this is saying in the last time I was on, I made 35 calls in an hour slot. And that's the one where I did the booked meeting. So not bad metrics. 35 calls for 1 hour. That means there was a lot of voicemails and a couple of like wrong numbers. But I did manage to book a meeting, and that is for next week. So hopefully, I will get my first little check. And that's pretty much it with Glencoco. So I hope that was helpful. Hey, just a quick interruption. Just want to let you know that we were Course Careers affiliates. If you follow this link, you can get $50 off of the Course Careers classes. They have everything from a tech sales certificate to HR certificate to UX UI certificate to IT, and they've even uploaded 2 or 3 more relevant tech positions that you can get certified in and break into tech right away. So if you are enjoying this video, if you know someone who's ready to break into tech and wants the easiest way to start working remote, starting getting entry level pay of 60K a year and upward, all the way to health benefits and paid time off and all these different things that come with the tech industry starting day one. Get them to this link and get involved in this tech boot camp.